Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate everyone who clicks on the video or clicks on while I'm live and watches these videos, and I hope, my hope and my prayer is that this is encouraging to you. I want to bring you value. I want to bring you encouragement and love and the things that we need to make our lives and those lives around us better. So, first and foremost, Mike Johnson wants to say thank you. Thank you. It is a huge encouragement to me, and I hope it is to you as well. Life is funny. Sometimes people will encourage you, and then sometimes they won't encourage you. They'll be more discouraging. Sometimes we have to do what needs to be done in spite of those who are disagreeable, in spite of the naysayers. We have to not listen to those voices. And sometimes those voices are in our own minds. But we've got to turn the volume down on that and turn the volume up on those who are encouraging. One of the biggest hurdles that we have to overcome as human beings is personal responsibility. We like to lay the blame for why we didn't do something or why we did do something on somebody else. We like to point out where someone else could have done better or how they held us back. We like to point out where someone else had failed or they caused us to fail. And it's rare to find someone that holds themselves accountable. And we all need to hold ourselves accountable. There's this great story I want to tell you about two frogs. And they were hopping around outside of the pond one day, and as they were happily hopping, they accidentally hopped into a really deep hole. Well, they tried to jump out, and they jumped, but to no avail. They had no success getting out of this hole. So they began to jump and croak. They tried to get the other frogs around the pond's attention so that they could come over and help them get out of this hole that they had jumped into. Well, the other frogs came around. They heard the commotion. They looked over into the hole and said that this hole is too deep for us to help you to get out of. But both frogs kept leaping, they kept hopping, they kept trying to get out from the side of the hole. And the other frogs were leaning over the hole and waving their legs at the frogs down in the hole. And they began to yell at them, and they said, just give up and die. There's no hope for you. You're stuck in this hole and you can't get out. But both frogs kept hopping. They kept jumping. They weren't going to give up. But the other froggy friends were still leaning over the hole, yelling, waving their arms, telling them to quit and give up. And then the one frog just gave up, laid down in the bottom of the hole, and he gave up and he died. Well, finally, the frog that was left, he just hopped like his life depended on it. And, many times in life, our lives do depend on it. Well, he hopped and he hopped, and he finally leaped so high that he got out of the hole. His front legs reached the top, and he grabbed on and he pushed himself out of the hole. Well, the other frogs that had been sitting around the outside jeering at him, they were beside themselves. They couldn't believe it. They said, even though we told you to give up and that there was no hope, you kept on jumping, you kept on hopping. And the frog that got out thanked the other frogs for encouraging him to keep going. But here's the funny part. What the other frogs didn't know was that this frog was deaf. He couldn't hear a thing that they were saying. He thought that they were hanging over the edge, encouraging him, trying to get him to jump higher and higher. And they didn't know he was deaf. He couldn't hear what they were saying. And he accomplished his goal. Don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people who say, you can't do this, or this isn't for you. It's all on you. Be responsible. Be accountable. And work and do what you do like your life depends on it. Because it does. Today in my blog, I'm gonna post another edition of my Big Life Revolution blog, and that's what it talks about. Doing things like your life depends on it, because it does. And not only that, do the right thing. Do the right thing. That's all I've got to say about that. But anyway, this is Mike Johnson signing out. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Let your soul shine. Keep the light alive. And I'll see you Saturday. Have a great day.